I'm here at Gamescom 2024 with ASUS Republic of Gamers, where they're showing off brand new Ryzen 9000 motherboards, new monitors, new peripherals, and everything in between. Now let's kick things off with motherboards and take a look at the new X870 boards. Now these are designed specifically for Ryzen 9000 and beyond. Worth addressing the elephant in the room that Ryzen 9000 hasn't had the smoothest launch so far, but with rumours of X3D chips coming potentially quite soon, that's where these motherboards for me are really going to come into play. And as those Ryzen 9000 chips get a bit cheaper, these motherboards get that bit more appealing. Now let's start with the Crosshair Hero. This comes with 18+2+2 in terms of the VRM power phases for that top end overclocking performance, and this is going to be one of the most expensive boards we're likely to see for Ryzen 9000 for that reason. Obviously the same DDR5 support we know, PCI Gen 5 across the NVMe and across the PCIe slots. The big differences with X870 are Wi-Fi 7 as standard on basically all of the motherboards here, and the inclusion of USB 4 as a widespread feature on the rear panel of these boards too. A couple of cool features on this board include the M.2 heatsink, which can now be removed fully toollessly as before, but a little bit more easily. The M.2 heatsinks on pretty much all of these boards are massive. That's obviously to better cater to Gen 5 NVMe drives, which run significantly hotter than their Gen 4 counterparts. We're also seeing Wi-Fi 7 on these boards as standard, widespread USB 4, which has a whopping 40 gigabits of bandwidth and is often interchangeable with Thunderbolt 4 devices, helps to just lift the feature set on these boards to that next level. As we work down the lineup, we then move down to some of the slightly more affordable but still fairly high-end Strix boards. This is their X870E gaming Wi-Fi, which I think personally looks really good. Well, they're also showing off their X870F gaming Wi-Fi, which slims those features down slightly and knocks the price down a little bit too. Now, one of my personal favorites that they're showing off has to be this. Now, this is their X870A gaming Wi-Fi in white, and isn't that a stunning board? These white boards are all the rage right now. Connectivity on this board is really good. I did give them a little bit of feedback here on the show that I'd like to see the RAM DIMMs be changed to white as well. They said it's actually to do with the different thermal properties of a black versus a white DIMM, and similarly it would be great to see some of these other plastic moldings move to white too. But I'm being really picky, and I actually think that the board otherwise is completely stunning. I/O on the back of this is again pretty stacked. 2.5 gig Ethernet, your 10 gig Type A's are really widespread, 5 of those, and then you've got a whopping 2 40 gigabit USBs as well as a DisplayPort functionality over those as well, which is really great to see. Just as a bit of a close-up of the actual M.2 removal, super simple and much easier to do than on the previous generation. Really like the design language on all of these boards too. Now moving down the lineup, they of course have the ITX boards. This is pretty similar to what we've seen with X670. You've got the extra bit of motherboard PCB which clips on to the end just here, giving you a little bit more by way of connectivity. This large NVMe heatsink area which gives you multiple M.2 slots you can install into, and again an I/O that is really solid. Now not all of these X870 boards are on the higher end. There are also some cheaper ones like this non-E tough board, which again I think looks really quite good. Black and grey is the theme of the day. Little tough accents of yellow on here too. And again, just to highlight a couple of features on all the boards, you've got that really easy Wi-Fi 7 where you just pop the antenna in, you haven't got to screw it or secure it down, it just holds without too many problems. ASUS are also showing off a Prime board. This is again a little bit cheaper, and they actually have what they say is a matching, although they are slightly different colours, Prime GPU. Now this is meant to be one of the cheapest MSRP triple fan SKUs on the 40 series, and it's great to see the Prime range is extended now beyond motherboards and cases and coolers but to GPUs too. This board's pretty interesting, and this is why I have a graphics card. I want to demo the easy PCIe installation. So you can see here we've got these PCI latches, and if you look at this you'll notice that the notch is all the way down, and if I try and pull it up it won't come. As soon as I get it up and let go, it goes back down again. Now to demo this, I'm going to install the Prime graphics card. So again, that's pretty standard for as graphics card installation goes. But if you push it out at an angle, and I've realized this is slightly easier to do with it on a table, you can actually push from the left-hand side and the graphics card will come out with relative ease. You may have already seen some photos of this online before. This is the ProArt LC360. So if you want an all-in-one to match your ProArt motherboard, you can do that. This is quite cool. The little light bar on here can represent temperatures, usage levels on your PC, fan speeds, and also the fans that are included coming from Alpha Cool and are fully metal. That's right, not only the fan blades, but all of the outside ring, all fully metal on this, up to 3000 RPM, which is pretty nuts. Talking of CPU coolers, they also have another CPU cooler on show. This is it's a refresh, it's a V3 of something. It's the Ryujin 3, I've still no idea how you say that, 360. Now this is again a bit of an upgrade over the last design. The screen is a higher resolution, it uses a better Acer Tech pump, and underneath you actually have a fan on the pump, which is going to help with VRM cooling. slung around the CPU. And the monitor just pops back on, nice and easily, a little something like so. If you're looking for a new PSU, you also won't be surprised to see that ASUS have got these too. And this one is actually really cool and addresses an issue I have with a lot of high-end power supplies. Now, not only is it 1200 watts, platinum, cybernetics certified, you get the gist, it actually has an OLED screen on the side which shows wattage. But the problem with this is that when you go ahead and install the power supply in a fan-down orientation, the screen flicks to the back and you can't see it. So it's a complete waste. Now this, however, is fully magnetic. So you just remove it, you just pop it on, if you can get it lined up, which I did incorrectly. Try again, you can see, there you go, it's gonna flick round to the right side. So if you've got a fan-down orientation, you can still see the screen, which is nice. Another cool feature on this, it's actually got real-time GPU voltage monitoring via these extra 2 pins in the 16-pin PCI 5 power cable, which they say is gonna help to enhance the voltage delivery to your graphics card and improve general reliability of your system. There's also a 1000 watt unit, which is obviously gonna be cheaper than the 1200 watt unit, which is nice. Cybernetics A+ for noise, which is good. 80+ platinum and a 10-year warranty. Happy days. Now, as well as motherboards, power supplies, CPU coolers, they've also got a special edition GPU to look at. So if we teleport or make Editor Dan run across the room, you'll see this. This is a custom Space Marine edition of their 7900 XTX. There's no new technology here really to show off. It's a 7900 XTX that we all know, but it's different. And they're actually giving away 20 of these. If you want to win one, I guess I'll leave the link down in the description below. Would you guys like to see more sort of special collector's edition GPU designs? Let me know in the comments down below. But where things get really special is if we switch over to the monitor side of the room. And this is a little bit interesting. Now, at Computex this year, we saw a trend where we've got dual mode monitors. So they can either run at a low resolution with a high refresh rate, or with the flick of a button, a higher resolution at a lower refresh rate, ideally giving you the best of both worlds. Now this is full HD at 480 Hertz or 4K at 240. I mean, either of those individually would be absolutely amazing. To have both is frankly ridiculous. In order to best demo this, they've got Valorant on, and what we can do is we can go into the settings and see we're running at 4K. It feels pretty buttery smooth, 240 Hertz, pretty good. Now, if we drop this down to windowed and we change it to 1920 by 1080, there we go, and hit apply, that's going to drop the resolution down within the game. And what I'm then going to do is I'm going to use the monitor, move down to the gaming tab, and actually turn on frame rate boost. You can see the monitor's now being recognized as 1080p, and if I drop this to the 1080p resolution and hit apply, hit confirm, you can now see we've moved up to 480 Hertz. This is really the solution that's going to give you the best of both worlds, that top-end responsiveness, but also the top-end resolution. And on a completely unrelated side note, doesn't this mousepad look amazing? It's like a glass white mousepad. I would really like one. It's going to match their new white peripherals, which is pretty cool. It's not the only dual mode monitor though. You'll also find one here that's 4K 160 and goes up to full HD 320 Hertz. Exactly the same situation in the settings menu. This one's probably more of that mid-range price segment. So good to see dual mode displays for different price points. Similar story with this panel, which is moving up to 360 Hertz, has 90 watts of Type-C power delivery, giving you that little bit more choice when it comes to how much you want to spend on a high-end gaming monitor. Again, if you want to spend a little less money, you haven't got to spend a fortune to get something super top-end. This is 280 Hertz, 1 millisecond response time, 1440p, and it's curved. So yeah, not quite as flashy as the dual mode panels, but something a little bit different to give you that bit more choice. In terms of peripherals, there are a couple of products you might want to note. They've updated the ROG Delta with a Delta 2, while they're also introducing a more mid-range or slightly more affordable ROG Powder, which I have to say looks quite nice. The headband's a little bit less adjustable and a little bit less refined than on the Delta 2, but it's going to cost you less money. Now, the real star of the show, though, is this Ace keyboard. Specifically, it's called the ROG Bauschen Ace HFX. Now, HFX refers to the switches that ASUS are using in this. It's their own magnetic switch design, and they've also incorporated some of the technology we've seen from the likes of Razer and Wooting when it comes to the release of the keys. The best way to demo this is in CSGO, and you can see if I move from left to right and accidentally catch one of the keys, you can actually end up getting stuck and the movement can stop. If I hit FN and tab and enable this, what it's going to do is it's going to help me out a little bit, and it's going to make it easier for me to move left to right, and even if there's a little bit of key overlap, it's not actually going to get me stuck. And this allows you to continue tracking, moving left and right while shooting, giving you a competitive advantage. I'm sure some people would probably say this is a little bit too much help in a competitive gaming scenario, but I'll leave that one up to you. And that's pretty much everything that ASUS are showing off that I think you guys will be really interested in. I suppose also worth noting new Wi-Fi 7 routers to go with their new Wi-Fi 7 motherboards, and a wider range of ASUS NUC products. Obviously was formerly an Intel thing. ASUS have now brought that in-house, and if you want a small form factor gaming machine, I guess you can pick one of those up. I'll leave everything mentioned today linked down in the description below, as well as the press releases over on our website, GeekaWhat.com. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to get subscribed. Thanks for watching, and as always, we'll see you in the next one.